Hey everyone, I'm Cary Smith and I'm sitting here with Cheri Turner.
Hi, everyone.
And Cheri and I are both with Client First Capital. And Cheri, I love this topic that you've put together for today. And it's financial red flags to avoid after divorce and how to protect yourself from the common pitfalls. And I will tell you, this is an important topic because a lot of people, when this happens, it's emotional. There's so many other priorities that seem like they need attention as well. And some of these things that are critical that a person get a handle on really quickly can be pushed to the side. And so, so maybe if you're watching this, you've recently gone through a divorce, or maybe even if it's been a little while, I can tell you it can be overwhelming. Cheri, I know you have some personal experience with this, and it's one of the reasons why your focus of your financial practice is in helping women, right, to make sure that they can, succeed financially and transition into a healthy and retirement that they enjoy. And so, anyway, I know that you've put together 5 really good red flags, which I agree. I've looked at the list. I feel like they're the top 5 that people are going to experience. And so let's just jump in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So the first red flag and first thing to kind of think about is overspending. Overspending is a common and very human red flag. After a divorce, there's often a very strong urge to reclaim control, to find comfort, or even to identify through spending. You've been through a major life change, and it's natural to want to soothe the pain or reward yourself for everything that you've already endured. But here's where it gets especially challenging for many women that I work with. If you're coming from a high income or high net worth marriage, you may have become used to a certain lifestyle. Perhaps you didn't have to think about budgeting or limiting your choices before. And now post divorce, you're suddenly faced with a new financial reality. You might be adjusting to living on a reduced income or relying on your settlement. You might be taking full responsibility for your finances for the first time, or even needing to re-enter the workforce and establish your own personal source of income. And that's not easy. It's not just about cutting back, it's about relearning how to live with your current means and redefining what financial freedom looks like for you now. Some things to kind of watch out for are spending without a plan or as a way to avoid, to numb your emotions, continuing to live at your previous spending level, and using credit cards or savings to maintain a lifestyle that no longer fits your situation. Instead, you really want to create a thorough and realistic financial plan and budget that will help you really understand your sources of income and your expenses, and to set a safe and sustainable spending limit. This way, you can adjust your lifestyle in a way that feels empowering and not punishing. It's about learning what you can say yes to with confidence. And the shift isn't easy, but it's an opportunity to really reclaim control and align your spending with what truly matters to you.
Cheri, there's a lot of really good advice there in just this first, red flag. And so, if I could add anything to what you just said, it's important to avoid, you said don't use credit cards. It is critical to avoid, adding on a bunch of debt and layering debt, because those things that can be hard to get out from under, and then can even lower your future spending. And so to the extent that you can, I'm glad you put this one first because I think it's one of the most important. And so just to readjust and understand what you can spend. I think you said it really, really well, in knowing what you can say yes to. And
Right.
so, yeah, so really, really good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. The second red flag, common red flag, is ignoring your investments, or even not knowing where they stand. Maybe your ex handled most of the investments, or maybe you're just not sure where to start. But ignoring your investments won't help you grow your wealth, and it won't help you protect your future. So it's really important because leaving everything in cash means you're losing value to inflation over time. you want to work with someone to realize that your goals have changed and you need your investments to now align with your new goals in your life. You want to start by taking inventory of all of your accounts and your investments. Work with an advisor to determine both your new risk tolerance as well as your risk capacity, and get clarity to make informed investment decisions that really match your goals.
Yeah, Cherie, sometimes if the investments come to you, let's just say that assets were split and they're already invested when they come to you, it's not safe to assume that they're invested appropriately, even though they might have been invested appropriately for when you're still a couple, right? And so your situation has changed. You need to understand how much risk is in that portfolio, understand your goals and what might be different. And so even if it's come to you already invested, already allocated, it's a really good idea to just start from scratch and making sure it's aligned with you and your goals and your dreams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A third common red flag is trusting the wrong people. Following a divorce, advice comes from everywhere. Well-meaning friends, family, or even acquaintances just want to help. But you have to remember that your situation is unique and the wrong advice can really set you back. So be cautious of anyone who's pressuring you to make quick decisions, of advisors who don't listen or explain things clearly, or friends who assume that what worked for them is necessarily the best thing for you. Really, what you want to do is try to find a trusted financial advisor who really listens, who educates, and who supports you without pressure. Work with someone who understands what you're going through and helps you make choices that really align with your values.
For both of us being in this industry and working with clients, we've seen situations where there has been really well-meaning family members or close relationships that had just really given a person the wrong advice, right? And then we've had to come in and kind of rework their plan and get them on a new path. And that's not to say that family and friends can't give you good advice,
Right.
but it is an area to be cautious about as you're, especially when you're transitioning and from marriage to being single, and there could be a lot of other emotions as well.
Definitely. A fourth common red flag is not updating your beneficiaries. Many women forget to go in and check on the various accounts and see what the beneficiaries are and ensure that they get those updated. Likelihood is, following a divorce, your ex is not the individual that you want to get your money if something happens to you. So your assets could end up going to them by default if you don't intentionally go in and ensure that you update those to your current intentions. So you'll want to review any life insurance policies, any brokerage and investment accounts, and even go back to your will, trust, and powers of attorney and make sure that you update those. Really take the time to update everything to reflect your new life and your new desires.
Yeah, of all the things you've listed so far, this one is probably the easiest one to accomplish. Can be done by logging onto a website or making a phone call, right? It can be done pretty easy. But I would add to your list of beneficiaries, make sure you're updating usernames and passwords, so that no one else other than who you intend has access to any of those accounts. And so make sure that those things get updated as well.
Right. Very good point. And then the last thing is delaying financial planning, putting it off altogether. Divorce takes a definite toll, and money can feel like just another thing that you have to deal with. Some signs that you're delaying or avoiding this, or avoiding your bank statements or credit card statements, thinking, well, I'll just deal with this later, or feeling stuck with something but not asking for help. So really start with a small step, whether it's making a list of your accounts or reaching out to schedule a consultation, because in reality, every little action helps you to build momentum. And if you get started, then you can kind of continue on with your progress and developing a plan that's going to work for you in both your personal and your financial life moving forward.
Yeah, Cheri. So No matter where you are, and even if you've had a financial plan in the past, it's probably a good idea to start working with creating a new financial plan to match the new reality. My experience is financial planning, having a financial plan, retirement planning, tax strategies, all of those things are not very expensive. And in most cases, they will more than pay for themselves in a short period of time. And so it's definitely worth it to not only not delay that, but make that one of your first priorities.
Most definitely. Yes.
Okay.
Having that plan and being able to say with confidence, I can spend this much a month and know that I will be okay, really makes all of the remaining planning so much easier.
That's right. So if I'm counting right, that's 5.
That's right.
So we had being cautious not to overspend, ignoring investments, trusting the wrong people,
Right.
not updating our beneficiaries, and also not delaying financial planning.
Right.
And so, Cheri, any final thoughts on this?
Just again, develop a little momentum, take the first step, whichever one feels easier. Definitely stay conscious around your spending, but whatever next step feels most comfortable for you, just get started.
Okay, super. All right. So if you're watching this, hopefully you found some value in this conversation. If you want to give us a like, it helps other people find these types of videos as well and this type of content. Also, if this is something that you feel that you need to have a deeper discussion in, you can reach out to us at Client First Capital. You can find us at clientfirstcap.com. And from there, it's easy to link up with Cheri, who's an expert in this area. But there's other people in the firm as well. Also, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter or find our videos online, but you can reach out to us through our website as well. So thanks for joining.
Thank you.